Okay, hello, this is Victor, and based on the information in this video that you will see in this presentation, the best and most qualified person running for office of President of the United States seems to be doing very well, and the felon and former president once again provides evidence that he is worthy of the title I've given him, Meathead, by once again babbling when asked a question. I say meathead because his statements typically indicate he's dead from the neck up.
Be on the debate stage in 4 days. Vice President Kamala Harris, of course, is now Donald Trump's opponent in the race. We're going to go through the strategies for that showdown. Also ahead, we'll have expert legal analysis on Hunter Biden's surprise guilty plea in his federal tax case. We'll have the latest on that. We'll also bring you raising groups raised $361 million last month. That's according to the campaign. The August haul was the best grassroots fundraising month in presidential history. The latest number nearly triples the amount raised by former President Trump in the same period. Harris has seen record-breaking fundraising numbers ever since taking over for President Biden as the Democratic nominee. Those numbers certainly will help as there's very little time in terms of trying to put it into action, but they can work on down-ballot races and shore up the Democrats.
Well, I mean, they've already given Jonathan Lemire $25 million. Kamala Harris gave $25 million to down-ballot races. I'm sure something that scared a lot of Democrats, but she is bringing in so much money right now. They certainly are going to be able to focus on their own ground game. And from everybody I talk to on the ground in the swing states, it is the ground game right now where Harris holds a big advantage. So in close races, they feel confident.
Yeah, and the Harris team inherited structural advantages from Joe Biden's campaign, which already had built up a significant field operation, that ground game, and she and her team have only added to it. They have a significant advantage there over Trump. And now a massive fundraising advantage, too. $360 million. That's more than 3 times what Trump raised in August, which has allowed Harris to give money away to down-ballot races. We had a Republican congressman on the record yesterday saying that if the trajectory holds, he fears that GOP is going to lose the House. And he blames also the leadership of the House Republicans, Speaker Johnson included, and the lack of any policy progress made this year for that as well. And we should also note here that having this much money, having this much cash on hand really frees up the vice president in these last 2 months. She's not going to need to do a lot of fundraising. She's not going to need to make those trips to the sort of the rich donors and to try to ask for more money. You know, they can do it grassroots, they can do it online, and Joe Mika, she can spend her time campaigning in those 7 vital battleground states where polls show a very tight race.
Which is exactly what Kamala Harris is doing. Meanwhile, Donald Trump spoke yesterday to the Economic Club of New York. He was asked for specifics on how his administration would make child care more affordable. Specific legislation. Listen.
If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make child care affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue, but I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, child care is child care. There's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including child care, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with child care. I want to stay with child care, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just...
What the hell is he talking about? If I just keep on talking, maybe I'll say something eventually. Eventually, I'll come close to making some sense about childcare. This is more just babble. He talks about tariffs. He wants to see him just keep on running, jacking his jaw, knowing damn well he's making no sense. Now, how in the hell is this man supposed to represent the United States of America when he can't answer one simple question? One area that Meathead is consistent in is that he adds to the evidence that he is in way over his head. He barely remembers information that his staff has passed to him because he's just learning about a concept for the first time. In this case, it's child care. Because he was born with a silver spoon up his butt. Now Harris, on the other hand, who has accomplished some real work in her life, actually knows about things that the Meathead is now just reading about for the first time. Thank you for watching.